Hello, people who are not me, and welcome back to Megaman 5. I am Sire Goku. In the last video, we started a new Let's Play of Mega Man 5, and I defeated Gravity Man and Gyro Man. And from here we're going to be moving on to the next boss in weakness order, which is Crystal Man, and by far, in my opinion, the hardest stage of the first 8 stages of the game. However, it does have some pretty kick-ass music, I must say. Right off the bat, you have this cup and ball enemy here. If you take out the cup that the ball is holding, the ball is going to bounce around, which is going to make things kind of frustrating to deal with sometimes. Or you can just take out the ball normally, and it's just gone. One charge shot takes care of that, no problem. Now, maybe I'm confusing this version of Crystal Man with Crystal Man's stage in Mega Man 4 for Game Boy, because the Game Boy Mega Man 4, I love that game to death. It's probably my favorite of the 5 Mega Man Game Boy games, but by God is Mega Man 4 hard. They made this stages out to be much, much harder in the Game Boy versions. Speaking of difficulty, this is the most difficult section of Crystal Man's stage right here. Just stand here, and by difficult I mean it just takes a while, because you just kind of have to stand here and wait for the crystals to stop dropping before you jump. Because otherwise the crystals are going to hit you and you're going to fall into the pit and you're going to die, and that's not something we want to happen now, do we? There we go. Now, I apologize if I get a little bit silent here. I just want to make sure I don't screw this up, because it can be very easy to screw up if you're not careful. Let's see. There we go. And one more. There we go. Okay, I apologize for the silence there. And hey, our good friend Eddie from Mega Man 4 is back. He's giving me a full life energy, which I don't want. E-Tank, I'll take that. That's a trick you can do since Mega Man 4. As long as you don't pick up the item that Eddie drops for you, you can leave the room and come back, and he'll respawn and give you a different item. So if you want to sit there and make sure you get a better item from him, then go ahead. There is another safe way you can deal with this segment. Just use the rush jet. Normally I don't need to use the rush jet, but I figured this is as good a time as any to show it off. There we go. Again, I don't need rush jet to get through, it just makes things easier. And that's why you have to be careful. God dang it! See, it didn't even... Oh, whatever. What are you gonna do? The game loves me because I just got another extra life. Oh, well. So now you know what happens when you mistime your jump. That's why you gotta be careful. I'm not even saying that this is because I haven't played in a while. I will openly admit that is definitely the hardest section. Like, those things are the hardest things to deal with in this stage, no, bar none. I mean, if not for these falling crystals, this stage would be no trouble at all. These are by far the hardest sections right here. And the thing is, they're right at the start of the stage, too, which doesn't make things any easier. Alright, let's go silent again, just to make sure I'm not mistiming my jump again. There we go. It's also, because it's hard to tell exactly when they're going to fall. Alright, one. There we go. Eddie, are you going to be generous enough? No. You know, I'm going to see if I can't get a one-up from him, because this... There we go. Again, Mega Man 5 is very, very generous with the items. Granted, that's just abusing Eddie, so there's not much I can really do to... There's not much more to say about that. It's just it's just respawn abuse at this point. And I'm going to just play it safe here. Yeah, see, that way even if I do get hit, I don't die right away. There we go. Up there, those are Crystal Joes. What they're going to be doing is instead of having a shield that they're physically holding, they're going to charge up a crystal shot. And then as soon as they launch that shot, then you can damage them. So it's more of a waiting game with them, just like every other kind of Joe in the franchise. Anyway, normally I don't need to do that, but I just didn't want to waste any more time. I didn't want to risk killing myself again. Oh, well that's interesting. I didn't think that was going to happen. What you have to do here is jump on this spinning platform and then climb up this ladder. Pretty self-explanatory. Again, I feel kind of bad for having to cheese that crystal dropping segment there with the rush jet, but I just didn't want to take too long and have too many deaths in this run. Normally I don't have to do that, but hey, recording curse, what can you do? Now we're coming up on where the letter is fairly soon for this stage. Just be a little bit cautious about dropping. We're also coming up to one of the unique staples of this particular game. If you use the rush jet, or rush coil or whatever, to get up this section here, you get an M-Tank. And what the M-Tank does is it refills all of your life and weapon energy all at once. And there's only 3 in the game, but you can only hold 1 at a time, so use it sparingly. Now, when you're dropping down here, you saw there's a number 5 there. Just jump down and hold left, and you should fall into it no problem. Let's see, I've been recording for about 10 minutes now because of that death, which is unfortunate, but okay. It's also one of the slightly longer stages of the game. It's not the longest, but we'll get to the longest stage of the 8 robots here in a while here. Anyway, thankfully there's that platform up there. You can just take out that jumping robot no problem. You shouldn't even need to worry about taking a hit. And coming in, this is probably the most challenging of the 8 Robot Masters. This is Crystal Man. What he's going to do is he's going to launch 4 crystals that bounce around the room for a set period of time or until they bounce into you. And then he will hop around the room, and then if he hovers in the air for a little bit, he's either going to shoot a Buster Shot, or if he does a high jump, he's going to use his Crystal Eye attack. Just keep shooting him with the gyro attack, and he'll go down no problem. He's definitely the hardest in terms of attack patterns to deal with, but if you just stay close to him, you should be able to take him out, even if you're not using the gyro attack. For beating him, we get the Crystal Eye, which, as I showed off before, it's going to launch a giant crystal ball that when it hits a wall, it's going to split into 3 other smaller crystals that'll bounce around the room for a little bit or until they hit something. Continuing the weakness order here, we're going to go on to Napalm Man. And Napalm Man, he's a much easier stage than Crystal Man, I'll say that much. We are in a jungle, and we have tigers. The tigers are annoying because what they're going to do is that's all they do is they leap at you. But they do a lot of damage, and they can be really difficult to dodge sometimes. Like that. One charge shot takes them out rather quickly, but still dodging them can be kind of a pain. Now we have met tanks and bats in this cave. These things are pretty simple. They shoot giant rubber balls, whatever. Now we have these drills. The best thing I can say is just keep charging your buster and then just shooting them as they show up on screen, and you'll take them out. You won't have to worry about it. Now, they are drills. They are a one-shot kill. They are one-hit kills, so be careful about that. Now, we have this energy tank here, but how can we get it? It's through a wall. Well, if you jump through here, there's a hidden passageway here. Get used to that, because there's a couple of those in this stage. Now we're coming up to the most frustrating part of this level. We have these water fountains, kind of similar to Toadman's stage from Mega Man 4, and these Copter Joes. These guys are ridiculously annoying. The best way I've found to deal with them is to just lure them down and shoot them with a fully charged Buster Shot. Or you can do what I'm doing here and showing off the gyro attack's ability to move around. If you press, you can change the trajectory of the gyro attack, so it makes attacking the Copter Joes a little bit easier. Eddie, what do you got for me? Give me something better. Are you gonna give me... Oh, 1-up. That's good. Okay, I think I'm going to clear out this room, and then I'm probably going to call it a part. Because... well, maybe. Now, I think we're almost done with the stage. Just be a little bit cautious with the jumping. We're also coming up on this stage's letter. That extra life is tempting. But, I could take the damage and go for it, but nah. To get that end, you just keep holding left. You get another 1-up here anyway. Again, this game is very, very generous with the extra lives. And then coming on to this last stretch here, we have these missiles that when you shoot them, they split into 4 missiles. So just be careful, and ow, I was standing a little too close to that guy. Wow, that's a lot of missiles. I'm being a little bit overzealous here. I'm going to use an E-Tank, because why not? And actually, as much as I hate to do this, I think I'm going to call it a part here, because this part's gotten a little bit too long for my taste. Ow. Yeah, this is a good place to stop. It's been kind of a long video, and I apologize for the fail runs of the last couple stages, but In the next video, we will finish up Napalm Man's stage and move on to the next area. See you guys then.